Good afternoon, baseball fans. Let's talk baseball. Coming to Red 16U Baseball, we have the Pre Tourney Vibe show coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Covington Red 16U squad. We got head coach Tate Lovelace, team manager Shay Benny, and general manager Jeff Colbert, who have put this organization together as a well-oiled machine. We'll have the fortunate opportunity to have Coach Lovelace live on the program. So stay tuned. We got a great group of things that we want you to take a look at. But once again, this show is all about our 16U Covington Reds. They had one tournament they played last week and did a phenomenal job where they brought home that big fat ring. And we're looking to do so starting this evening at 5:45. All right, folks, it's going to be an exciting show. It's not going to be that long. We're going to have a good time to talk about our kids, because what we want to do is promote all of our fantastic athletes that are coming out of the Covington and surrounding areas, folks. So sit back, enjoy the show. We're doing this for our kids to make sure that they get all the notoriety that they deserve, because they've been putting in a lot of hard work. Coach Tate has taken most of these kids right after the high school season, didn't give them a chance to breathe, put them right into action, and they came up, showed up, and showed out at last week's tournament. So we're excited about what took place, but we want to showcase some of those great things that took place last week, and we're going to give it to you now with some of the outstanding performances that took place last weekend in our championship win. We went 4-0. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And when we come back from the break, we're going to have that man who runs the organization, well, who actually runs the team, because we do have Jeff Colbert running the organization, but we will have head coach Tate Lovelace live on camera. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. We'll be right back. Okay, folks, as we come right back to live action, I want to basically go over our team and introduce you to the Covington Red 16U squad. As you can see on the screen, the Big Dog Brawl is what we're going to be playing in today. 5:45 is the start time. We'll be playing against those Walton Misfits who we played in the championship game of last week's tournament, followed by 7:30. As you can see, there's a correction on that time, misspell on our part, but that game will start against Around the Horn, who we played in our first game at the last tournament. We'll start at 7:30-ish. Now, though, that time can go either forward or backward. We hope you can make it out to Commerce, Georgia with us. If not, definitely stay tuned to the live broadcast, as we will be broadcasting both games live in living color. At this time, we'd like to introduce you to the Covington Red 16U squad. Looking good, fellas. Looking good. Can you hear me? Fantastic. As soon as this goes out for the introduction of the players, then I'm going to bring you right in and we're going to make it happen. I'll do the introductions and everything, start off, and then I'll give you a lead in for some questions, and then we'll go from there. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. We are going to be blessed with having our head coach who runs this ship for the Covington Red 16U join us on the broadcast. Put your hands together for the man, the myth, Coach Taylor Lovelace. What's happening, Coach?
What's going on? What's going on?
Not too much, man. Hey, you guys, well, the Reds went out and we had a phenomenal tournament last weekend. The boys really showed up and showed out. We started off a little shaky in the first inning, but they came out and really put it to those folks in that first game, man. What do you contribute that slow start, but then they picked it up after that? What do you contribute that to, Coach?
What I really contributed to is not getting on to them for having a slow start. When you coaching, man, you got to learn every player. You go out there and you fuss at them and you beat them up for making an error. Guess what? They know they made the error. They know they struck out. You don't beat them up for that. You kind of lift them up and give them encouraging words. Let them know, hey, look, next play. Keep that next play mentality. And our first two games of the pool play, we started off down. We were losing. We were down bad, and the guys never gave up. They went out there and they, kicked it in gear. And we poured it out in pool play. So all in all, great. I mean, you don't want to start off slow, but it worked in our favor, unfortunately, last weekend.
Well, fantastic. I truly believe that I sat right there and I got a chance to be front row seat to watch all four of those games. And I was really excited to see how the boys came out and competed real hard at a high level. One of the things that folks don't understand when you do travel ball, it has to be from the love, from the heart. And that's something that really I took to you as being a parent of a player on the team as well. Where does that passion lie for you just to donate your time, energy, effort, money, and your family participation to be able to give back to these boys every single summer?
It's all about the youth. It's all about the youth. When I was coming up, I didn't have a father figure in my life until I became an older teenager. So a lot of these kids don't have father figures as well. And even if they do have father figures, they still need an extra guy to let them know, look, man, everything's going to be all right, because it's all about the youth. It's all about the youth. So when I spend my time with these guys and my money and just everything else, it's all worth it, because the youth is the future.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to join forces with you this year. We've been knowing each other for several years as we watched our kids come up through the youth ranks. But one of the reasons why is because I like the direction that you were taking the program. And I thought there was something that we could add together to make sure that these kids know that this is just not a summer league program that they're going to be playing in. This is something that's going to help them develop their careers. And if they want to have some place in the baseball world, whether it be college or who knows, maybe MLB, this is a good chance for us to come together and do things like this, not only the Saturday tournaments, but be able to showcase them on a show typical like this. When you first heard of what I was trying to do, where did it fit in with your scheme of things? Because I know personally, because I'm there on a day-to-day basis, I see what you're trying to accomplish. But if you could share with the audience on what direction you want to take the program in, that'd be great.
When you pitched your idea to me as to what you wanted to add to our already established program, I was blown away. The reason people do travel ball, well, the majority is for exposure. Mm-hmm. Playing more competitive baseball and the exposure. With our media specialist in Coach White, because he also helps coach these boys as well. He's not just a media specialist. The stuff that he input, that's something he put in these young men, I love it. I love it. But as far as putting the guys on YouTube, doing the guys interviews, teaching these guys how to talk in front of a camera, just everything that you wanted to add to this program, it only elevated it. And it also, I didn't need any motivation, but that motivated me even more to go even harder about these guys, man. So the stuff that you brought to the table, it's a blessing, man. I greatly appreciate you.
That is awesome. I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Most folks know in the community that it's always been, when it comes to me, about the kids. Whatever I can do to showcase these kids is what we're going to do. And I think the platform that you allowed us to be on is really going to be helpful for these kids, because we're finding a lot of things out behind the scenes that we didn't know what may have taken place at their high school situations. But I truly believe that with them having film and and other things of where we're bringing them together, like, turning them into the young man right along with their parents. I think that's going to really help them going forward. So we truly appreciate you being on the show. The next thing we want to do right now is we're going to go to a break. But when we come back from the break, we're going to introduce them to the players of the game for our last 4 games. It was an outstanding tournament where we played 4 games, 2 pool games, and then went to the Final Four, won that game, and of course, eventually won the championship game. So we're going to showcase those 4 players here in the show, and we're going to talk a little bit about each player and what you've known over the last several years that you've been able to coach them, and then maybe have some suggestions on what you think is going to happen to them going forward, especially with this tournament coming up with this evening. Folks, thank you for tuning in to the live broadcast of the Pre Tourney Vibes. It's the Covington Red 16U squad. We're talking everything baseball, folks. We'll be right back with you right after the break. All right, we're sitting there chatting with the head coach of the Covington Red 16U squad. Coach, before we talk about the players and the player of the game, like I talked about before the break, I want you just to break down your staff real quick and talk about a few of those folks. One of the main people I want you to talk about, and I hope I ain't jumping the gun too much, but I think the secret is out. Our team manager, Shay Benton, she has been a phenomenal help seek for this team. She does so much work behind the scenes. The graphics that they'll see on this program, she's responsible for that. She put together the food right along with the rest of your family. But just the things that she does, it definitely, you need a strong helpmate when it comes to putting a program like this together. But just talk a little bit about Shay.
Without Shay, there is no Covington Reds. Without Shay, there is no Covington Reds. She's not a team mom. She is a team man. The walk-up songs. She does the babying the teen, not babying the teenagers, but making sure the teenagers are doing what they're supposed to do in the dugout. She does the graphics. She runs the social media for the Facebook. When it's time to order the jerseys and stuff, she orders the jerseys. When it's time to go pick up players that stay all the way in Macon, she goes meet them halfway. When it's time to go pick a player up from practice, she does that. I mean, the stuff that if it wasn't a Shay, there would be no Covington Red.
Man,
I keep saying that is a true statement.
Yeah.
There would be no Covington Red.
Yeah, I can believe that, Shay. I mean, Tay, she does such a phenomenal job. And so if you're out there and you're on the team, or you're a parent, most importantly, when you do see Shay, please walk up, give her a pat on the back, tell her thank you, because like Coach said, the program itself would not be at the level it is right now without having her on. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into a graphic that she created that she puts on her Facebook page. And folks, if you're not going out to the Facebook page on a regular basis, you're doing yourself a disservice. Not only will you see your child in a great professional light, but you'll be helping them out so much, because there's so much information that we have decided to basically disseminate about these players. No matter what's taking place at their local high schools, these summers, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball, these summers is where they get the blood, sweat, and tears to really help them get to that next level. So we're going to do everything we can. So definitely stay tuned, because this is only the beginning of what this organization has planned for your student athlete. So we're going to jump right into our first player of the game of our day 1 tournament. And I'm going to pop old Tay in there as well so he can be right along with us. This young man is Marcus Solomon, number 13. This young man did a phenomenal job in our first tournament, Tay. He batted 1,000. Like that's an unheard batting percentage in 1 game, 2 games, let alone a 4-game tournament. He hit a double. He hit a single. He hit 1 double, 2 singles, and drove in 5 RBIs. Like, there's so much things we could talk about this kid, and just to see, how he shows up and gets his work in every day. Speak a little bit about Marcus Solomon if you can.
Parents, everybody out there, please don't take this the wrong way, but 3 years ago, I told Marcus he was my favorite player. And he wasn't my favorite player because he was the best player, because if I'll be honest with you, I call a spade a spade. Marcus has always been one of those guys that works hard. The talent may have not have been there always, but he's always worked hard. He's always been coachable, always been respectful, always had a great attitude. I've had Marcus for, this makes for I believe the 5th team I had Marcus on for. It's the 15 I had Marcus on, and he's been the same Marcus every single time, wanting to get better. Yeah. And you will never see this kid with an attitude. You'll never see this kid with a frown on his face. This kid has worked extremely hard to get to where he is now. And he played varsity ball up there in Rockdale, but he barely got to play.
Hard to believe.
And it's very hard to believe. And with the exposure and the videos that we're doing with Covington Reds, you go back and show the coach, hey, look, coach, I actually can really swing it. I actually can really, play some defense as well. Right. Marcus, I have nothing but great things to say about Marcus.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I just got a chance to meet him this year, and I even had a conversation with his mom, and she's such a sweet lady, and she said she's telling me about all the things that Marcus is doing behind the scenes, and that's what some of our athletes today don't realize. Coach Tay, you can go out there and put the work in on the diamond like you do on a regular basis, but if they don't go home and do something on their own, they're never going to get to that level of what we had a chance to see Marcus. So kudos to Marcus. Keep doing your thing. Really, really happy, and looking forward to seeing you this evening in our second tournament of the season. We're going to move right along with our player of the game for game 2, and that was Mr. Caden Ferentz. Caden Ferentz went, let's look at his stats there. He had 2 singles, had some big hits, scored 2 runs, and had an RBI, and actually didn't even talk about his pitching. And I sorry, we kind of left out the pitching for Marcus, and I know you'll get a chance to go back and talk about Marcus's pitching status, which you ramped and raved about when it happened. But Caden went on the mound and did his thing, pitching 2 innings. 24 pitches is what he pitched. He, of course, got the win from where his position was, but he did an outstanding job on the mound as well. So speak a little bit about Caden Ferentz as being the player of the game for our Reds in the second game.
Let me backtrack about Caden. My very first year coaching, Caden was he was the first player that I met. He walked up on me, and little kid, like real skinny, and nobody never really gave this kid a chance. I put this kid at shortstop and second base, and I batted the kid 3-hole because I saw the potential in the kid. Caden worked his butt off. He worked his butt off for this game. Mm-hmm. Caden has tried out for his high school team for 3 years, and he has never made the team.
Hard to believe.
When Caden comes out here and he plays travel ball with us, he shines. Mm-hmm. The numbers show it. Mm-hmm. He didn't get the player of the game because of his offense. Even though his offense was spectacular, like Coach White just said. Mm-hmm. He got the player of the game for his pitching. Mm-hmm. His dad, I know Coach White mentioned about Shay, the team manager, but his dad, Danny Ferentz, is my assistant coach.
Right. When
I tell you bad to the bone, our coaching styles just mesh. Mm-hmm. They just mesh. He is, you got the good coach and the bad coach. He's definitely the bad coach. He loves that role. That's the role he takes on. That's my guy.
Right.
I reached out to him and I was like, hey, man, look, we're going to need Caden to pitch in the scrimmage that we're supposed to do. He was like, hey, man, I really don't think Caden wants to pitch. Man, he's down out. He's bummed out about it. He really don't want to pitch. The reason being, we played a team called Making Pain. Mm-hmm. They had like one of the number 1 kids in the state of Georgia, Keon Johnson. Mm-hmm. They were just some great well-coached ball club. Ryan Kolesko's team. They went out there and I put Caden on the mound, and they wore him out. Mm-hmm. That's the first time he pitched in like 2 years, so that kind of discouraged the kid. So I walked up to him in practice, and I was like, hey, look, man, I need you to pitch this season for me, man. We're gonna need your arm. He was like, Coach, man, I don't want to let my team down. You can't go in there with that mindset, Caden. Mm-hmm. I know what you can do. You know what you can do. Mm-hmm. Man, Caden went out there, and Caden was the only pitcher in that. He came in the 3rd inning. He pitched the 3rd inning and the 4th inning, and he made those guys look sick. He made those guys look sick. Mind you, the kid, they had like 6 hits. They didn't get another one on Caden.
Wow.
They didn't know when I put Caden in the game, he made them look sick.
Awesome.
Caden got to play of the game because of his pitching, man.
Awesome.
He also was batting 1,000 before that game. So,
right.
Yeah, kudos to Caden, man.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, awesome, man. Like I said, you absolutely right. Caden is a phenomenal young man. His dad did a good job with him. He takes instructions well. One of the things, if you're listening out there, ball players, one of the things that really makes Caden shine, and a lot of the other kids, we do have some good kids, don't get me wrong, and we're going to help make them even better, is that they have that key ingredient that most coaches are looking for. Are you coachable? Are you coachable? If you're a coachable kid, I'm telling you, a coach will bend over backwards for you. So everything that that Coach Tate just talked about as far as Caden is concerned, follow those footsteps.
Can I go further with that?
Oh, man, you can go as far as you want to. Coach, it's your show.
Caden has runs more poles than I can only say that more than anybody. So not only he's coachable, but not only is that he's not taking the tough love that I'm giving to him and shut down, he takes it like, oh, man, I got to do better. Oh, man, I can't do that. Because I know Coach Tate go run me. So Caden, he is the king of poles. He runs more poles than anybody.
That is awesome. Yep, I see him out there running. But, hey, he understands that a change has come to this Covington Reds. And although it may have been a little bit of a shock for him in the beginning, he's buying in right now. I look at it, even when I had to coach him out in the outfield, he knew what he was doing out there, and he wanted to be combative, but then he realized that coach not trying to make you worse. Coach is trying to make me better. And he basically stood up and was like, okay, coach, I get it. I got it. And from that point on, the kid was a superstar. It was just practice, but he still did a great job in practice. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. All right, we're going to move over into Game 3's player of the game, and that is my main man, Chris Ross. Chris he showed up a little bit late because he had another opportunity, and if folks don't really know about it, we got several of our athletes that play multiple sports, and of course the spring games are ending and spring practices are ending for our football athletes, but we have kids in our team who are dedicated to playing summer baseball, and so they leave practice, they leave games, they come after games to practice, and this is one of those kids, and I've grown to really like Chris because his work ethic is phenomenal. Go ahead and you can speak on it, but like I said, he showed up, and just wanted to give a couple of stats. I'm sorry, before I turn it over to you, Coach. He came in and he pitched a phenomenal game. So I'm going to let Coach dive into it and just talk a little bit more about Chris Ross.
Have you ever heard, this is for the viewers out here, have you ever heard of the term 5-tool? Chris Ross is a 5-tool athlete. He has the speed. He can hit it. He can pitch. He can play defense. Chris is a 5-tool athlete. When I tell you how, and it starts at home, man. You can tell the kids who have a great upbringing and their parents teach them how to respect adults.
Right.
Chris Ross, never, as good as he is, he ain't cocky, he's not arrogant, he's respectful, and he's coachable.
Yes.
He's coachable. If you tell Chris something, Chris will make the adjustment and he will fix it. He knows what he's doing wrong, and he wants to be coached.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Chris, when he came the first game, the second game of the tournament, and he was struggling offensively. That's not like Chris. No. As long as I've been coaching Chris, this is the third team Chris has been on with. As long as I've been coaching Chris, he's never struggled offensively. He couldn't hit a beach ball. I mean, I'm just being honest. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't hit a beach ball. His offense wasn't working, but his defense, his pitch was on fire. The kid pitched 4 innings. This is going off muscle memory. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I believe he struck out 8 batters. He only walked 2, and he gave up 1 hit. And when he gave up the hit, Brandon is our team captain.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon is you have 2 coaches, but Brandon is like that third coach, if I'll be honest with you. Brandon, he takes the key, he takes the guys, he gives them, great points. So Brandon was giving him, messing with him about the little hit he gave up because Chris said he ain't giving up no hits. Next thing you know, we was hyping Chris up too much. It was like 3rd inning, man. Chris was just blowing him down. The next thing you know, kids squares went up the deep left center field, and we just laughed it off. And after that, he just blew him down again, man. Chris is a 5-tool athlete.
That is truly awesome. Great representation of who that young man is. And you're absolutely right. It does start at home. You can tell when the kids come out there and they have the respectful manner of, speaking every time they see a coach. And I'm just going to be honest. I mean, that's something that you implemented this year that I really is the young men are really starting to understand how important it is, because if they walk into practice and they can have 10 things on their mind and they walk past a coach, we turn them around and start all over again and make them come back in and make sure they acknowledge everybody that they haven't seen in 24 hours, at least by saying, hey, coach, whatever it's got to be, but it has to be addressed right then and there. So that's just the culture.
What your grandma tell you when you was growing up? You walk into a room with adults, you speak.
There you go.
You speak. So
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's all in my dog, bro.
Oh, no doubt. So good job on that, and we're going to continue to do that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in our next segment. But our last player of the game is a phenomenal athlete, Mr. Lewis Chaney. He came in and did a phenomenal job in that championship game. I mean, he put us through it on the edge of our seats, and I will be honest to say, Coach, it's almost like he did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because of how he mowed them down. I mean, this kid came in with bases loaded, 3 men that he walked himself on base, and I'm telling you, the next 3 batters didn't have a chance. 3 up, 3 down. The other team actually thought that they were going to get that run to tie the game, but they left 3 on the bases, and we end up pulling the victory out. So there's a whole lot we can talk about. I'm pretty sure with the Chaney.
I call him Sweet Lou, man. Sweet Lou. Met Lewis when they were 10 years old during the All-Star game. He was the biggest thing out there. He was a left-handed catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis threw the ball extremely hard. But Lewis couldn't hit a ball. If you put it right here in front of him, Lewis couldn't touch it. Over the years, has been, me and Lewis have had our ups and downs. I love that kid, man. I love that kid. I got goosebumps saying that, man.
Take your time, Coach. It's all good.
That kid there, man, how mature Lewis has grown from when I first met him to where he is now. I take my hat off to him. Lewis has been our ace for many years on the mound. Everybody knows when it's time, that must-win game, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. That first game, we threw a no-hitter, but they scored 2 runs. Why? Because Lewis walked in 2 runs. The old Lewis would have been shut down. You wouldn't have known he was there for the rest of the day. This new Lewis comes up, and the game changer person, because we do game changer the right way over here.
Right.
She didn't score Lewis as an inside the park home run. She scored it as a single, because that's what it was. He hit a single, but they threw the ball. The ball had a weird bounce. It bounced all the way to the outfield, and the kid threw it in. And Marcus, our MVP from the first game, rounded third, and he got caught up in a rundown. And in that rundown, the ball sailed all the way to left field, and Lewis ended up scoring on that. The old Lewis would have done that. I'm telling you. This new Lewis, he came. The president. We didn't even talk about the president. See, I'm just the head coach.
Right.
I'm just a skipper. The president of this organization is Jeff Colbert.
Yep.
Jeff Colbert, he started this program during that All-Stars when we met Lewis. We got a bunch of those Macon kids, and we mixed with our Covington kids, and we came up with the Covington Reds.
Awesome.
And Lewis was our catcher, left-handed catcher, until we brought along Kurt. But Lewis was our catcher, man. We didn't have nobody that could catch other than Devontae, but Devontae was our main pitcher. So it's been a journey with Lewis. Like I said, in that game, we had a no-hitter going. Well, we walked in 2 runs, and we still threw a no-hitter against that team around the horn. We played them actually this afternoon, and that should be a great rematch. But they have one of our former players on there, KK. KK is he's an original Covington Red. He was a Covington Red before. But about Lewis, man, in that championship game, and the reason Coach White said what he said is he almost did it on purpose. Lewis did the same thing he did in the first game. He walked 3 batters. He walked the bases loaded. So I called time. I go out there and I talk to him. I'll stay on camera what I said to him. But he had my blood. He had my blood rushing, man. I'm like, man, come on, man. What is this? That talking to him. I'm not saying that it worked or it was me or anything like that, but he kicked it in the kid. And I tell you, the kid ended up throwing less than 10 pitches to strike out the side and win us the ball game.
I know.
Lewis locked in. The old Lewis would have done that to the program. He bought into what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do, we're trying to help raise young men. And I always preach two things. The first, you are a student athlete.
Yep.
The books come before anything.
Yes, sir.
Lewis is doing great in school when it comes to the books.
Awesome.
The next thing I preach is attitude and everything, because I've been saying this a little cliche. So, Coach White was with me during basketball for many years ago, 2010, 2012. I've been screaming attitude and everything for a very long time, and it's not just to sound cute. That is everything.
Right.
You can't be a great firefighter with a horrible attitude. You can't be a great cashier with a horrible attitude.
Right.
You can't be a businesswoman or a businessman with a horrible attitude. You can't be a young man or a young lady with a horrible attitude. Attitude is everything. You never know who's watching.
Right.
So attitude is everything, man.
Yeah.
We got a good group of boys, great program going. Jeff, the president, Shay, the team manager, Meek, the skipper, Coach White, the media specialist, and the assistant coach, Coach Danny, the assistant coach. I just love everything about the Covington Reds, man. The 2024 season is going to be amazing.
Oh, man, you're absolutely right, man. We're off to a great start. Of course, when you start the season off with the victory in the tournament and getting that ring, of course, you've been stating it all week. We put that bullseye on our back, but we're going to accept that challenge and we're going to make it happen. I know we will, and it's going to start tonight. All right, after this break, when we come back, we're just going to give you a chance to hear from our athletes, talk a little bit about themselves. We got to wrap it up pretty soon because it's an hour and a half to get out there to where we play today, so we're going to definitely have to pack it up and get these vehicles ready and get on the road. But we'll be right back, and you'll get a chance to hear from our athletes real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back. With these young boys, and he does so much. You couldn't tell from right there, but I believe he probably umpired 2 or 3 games this morning before even coming on the show, and now he's getting prepared for our 2 games tonight. Definitely want to show up. First game's at 5:45. Second game will be at 7:30. Definitely come up, show up, and show out. Our general manager, Jeff Colbert, who Coach Tate spoke about, awesome individual, had a great foresight for this opportunity to grow the Covington Reds to where it is today. We'll get a chance to bring him on in a show down the line, but real excited about what they bring to the table, man. It's just been a lot of fun just to watch them grow, watch them interact with the kids, and I think that's really why these kids want to play, because there's a side of Tay that steps up to the plate and says, hey, it's time for that work, it's time for that business, and these kids know, or these young men know exactly when that time goes. So with that, I'm going to lead off into giving you guys a closer look at our players as they talk a little bit about themselves and what they like to do and their favorite subjects in school.
My name is Brandon Scott. I'm a right-handed pitcher. I also play third base. My favorite subject in school is A-Push. Go Reds.
My name is Cameron Scott. I'm a right-hand pitcher. I'm a utility player. My favorite subject in school is math. Go Reds.
My name is Tyson Maxey. I play catcher. My favorite school subject is math. Go Reds.
My name is Chris Ross. I'm a right-hand pitcher and also a utility player. My favorite subject in school is chemistry. Go Reds.
My name is Gabriel White. I'm a left-handed pitcher and I play outfield. My favorite subject in school is math. Go Reds.
My name is Michael Campbell, right-handed pitcher, utility player. My favorite subject in school is world history. Go Reds.
My name is Kaden Ferez. I'm a right-handed pitcher and outfielder. My favorite subject in school is history. Go Reds.
My name is Cesar Lovelace. I'm a right-hand pitcher, a utility player. My favorite subject is math. Go Reds.
My
name is Marcus Salone. I'm a utility player. My favorite subject is chemistry. Go Reds.
My name is Louis Cheney, left-hand pitcher, utility player. My favorite subject in school is biology, and go Reds.
My name is Jaden Colbert. I am a utility player. My favorite subject in school is biology and ELA. Go Reds.
Hey. Hi, my name is Devontae Hardiman, and I'm a utility guy. My favorite subject is math and biology, and go Reds.
Well, folks, book before a ball. That's what we're preaching on a regular basis. But if you don't hit the books, you can't play ball. So it's good to see what those young men had to say, and especially in regards to what their favorite subjects are in school. So if they don't become professional baseball players or even go to college, at least we know they got a great career objective ahead of them. And we look forward to seeing what more is going to come of those young men. Well, folks, we want to thank you for tuning in to our live broadcast of our Pre Tourney Vibe is what we like to call it. We're talking baseball, and we got to get ready to get on the road here as our second tournament of the year, starts in Commerce, Georgia at 5:45. Once again, the correction on the start time as far as our miscue is 7:30 following that second game. So it could be a little bit later, a little bit earlier. But as always, tune in to EGN Sports as we're going to bring both games live to you. Once again, thanks for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate you. Help us, continue to follow us on this ride as we take these Covington Red boys 16U as far as we can actually take them, and we're going to definitely do what we can to give them the exposure that they deserve. With that being said, we'll see you at the next pitch.
Do that. Don't try to apprehend them.